Hello, and welcome to Blue Airways. On this channel, I upload aviation related stuff. So if you like aviation, you should consider subscribing. Have you ever heard of the Concorde? Okay, that was a pretty dumb question. Most of us have heard of the Concorde in some sort of way, but some of us haven't. So in this video, I'll tell you about the Concorde and its glory. By the way, the reason why I'm making this video is because I put up a community post on YouTube asking you what video you would rather see. A video about the Concorde or a video about the AN225. And you picked the Concorde, so here's the video most of you picked. Now comes the video. The Concorde was a collaboration between two companies, one French and one British. The French being Fotage Aviation, later Aerospatiale, and now Airbus. The British being British Aircraft Corporation, later British Aerospace, and later BAE System. Though the two companies credited for building it was Aerospatiale, something like that. I think that's how you say it. And British Aircraft Corporation. That is why it's mostly known as the BAC Aerospatiale Concorde. The Concorde had 4 engines. The engines was 4 Rolls-Royce /Snigma. Snigma, also known as Saffron Olympus 593 turbojets, fitted with afterburners. The Concorde could fly 2.04 or 2 times the sound of speed. 2.04 the times of speed. The time of sound. No. The speed of sound. Sorry. In kilometers an hour and knots, that is 2,167 kilometers an hour or 1,170 knots. That is so fast that some of you might believe that it was a military jet. But no, this was a supersonic passenger jet. The first flight of the Concorde was on the 2nd of March 1969, though its first introduction with an airline was years later in 1976. The only 2 airlines that owned the type was British Airways and Air France. Though 2 other airlines did have something with the Concorde. Those 2 being Braniff International Airways, who operated Concordes between Washington Dulles and Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, utilizing its own flight crew, under its own insurance and operator's license. Stickers containing a US registration were placed over the French and British registration of the aircraft during each rotation, and temporarily placed behind the cockpit signify what? Oh yeah, a placard was temporarily placed behind the cockpit to signify the operator and operator license in command. And yes, that part was taken straight from Wikipedia. That's why I couldn't say one word, because I didn't know what that word meant. So yeah, that part that I just read was straight from Wikipedia. And the other airline was Singapore Airlines, who had its livery placed on the left side of Concorde GBOAD, or as you actually say, Golf Bravo Oscar Alpha Delta, and held a joint marketing agreement which saw Singapore Airlines insignias on the cabin fittings, as well as the airline's Singapore Girl stewardesses jointly sharing cabin duty with British Airways flight attendants. All the flight crew operations and insurances remained solely under British Airways, however, and at no point did Singapore Airlines operate Concordes under its own operator's license or certification, nor did they wet lease an aircraft. This agreement initially only lasted for 3 flights, conducted between the 9th of September and the 13th of September 1977. It later resumed on the 24th of January 1979 and operated through the 1st of November 1980. The Singapore livery was used on GBOAD from 1977 to 1980. The Concorde, the Singapore livery was used on GBOAD from 1977 to 1980. And if you're wondering, yes, that part was also taken straight from Wikipedia. That's why I also made a little mistake with reading it right there. Anyway, normally my videos are only like 3 minutes long max, but this one is double as long, 6 minutes. So I think I'll make it into multiple parts. So thank you for watching part 1. See you in the next part of the Concorde, and see you in the next video. Bye. Hello and welcome to Blue Airways. On this channel I upload aviation related stuff, so if you like aviation, you should consider subscribing. This is part 2 of me telling about the Concorde. So if you haven't watched the first part of it, you should watch it. There are some information you might want to know. But in this video I'll tell more information about the Concorde. By the way, the reason why I'm making this video is because part 1 was too long, and 2, you voted that I should make a video about the Concorde, so here I am. So let's continue where we left off. The Concorde was produced from 1965 to 1979, and only 20 were built. That is if you include 6 non-commercial planes. The Concorde was a narrow-body plane with only 4 seats in a row. That is not that much. That meant that it could only carry from 92 to 128 passengers. And now you just have to think that this plane used a lot of fuel. So yeah, that wasn't that many passengers. The plane needed 3 people minimum to fly. The 3 people needed were 2 pilots and 1 flight engineer. The Concorde was a plane with a tailless design. A tailless design aircraft is a plane with no horizontal stabilizers. If you do not know what a horizontal stabilizer is, it is just those so-called small wings at the back of the aircraft. They're actually not small wings, they don't even generate lift, but that is what most people call them because they don't know what they do. What they do is that they're there to stabilize the aircraft. So anyway, that was a bit of fact about the horizontal stabilizer. Anyway, some planes though do not have a horizontal stabilizer at the back of the aircraft. Some planes have it at the front of the aircraft. This kind of design is called the canard wing. One of the planes that had this feature is the Tu-144, which is actually a copy of the Concorde. Though on the Tu-144 the canard wings can retract for less drag, as they were only needed at slow speed, because the Concorde wasn't very the Tu-144 wasn't very stable at slow speed. The Concorde operated until the 26th of November 2003, having been flown for 34 years. The Concorde had a very successful career, flying a lot in those 34 years. Though the Concorde did not avoid incidents and accidents. Though most of them survived, there was at least 1 hull loss and a few incidents. I'll now tell you a bit about 1 incident and 1 accident. Now, here's the incident. On the 12th of April 1989, Concorde 102 had its top tail rudder crumple a bit off mid-flight, causing vibrations. The vibrations grew stronger as the plane slowed. If you want to know more about this incident, the awesome YouTuber Mini Aircrash Investigation has made a video about it. I'll try to leave a link to his video in the description. And on the 25th of July 2000, Air France flight 4590 crashed after a fire broke out under the wing. The fire made engine 2 fail due to the fire, and engine 1 to also lose thrust. The plane did become airborne, but not for long. A bit later, the plane crashed into a motel, killing 113 people and injuring 6 people on the ground. Everybody on the plane died that day. It was a sad day, which is commonly known as the end for the Concorde. Only 3 years later, the Concorde would be retired from service. Mini Aircrash Investigation has also made a video about this crash. I'll try to leave a link to the video in the description. Even though the Concorde stopped flying years before I was even born, I've actually seen a Concorde. Here are the videos I have of the Concorde. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. Bye. And that's all. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.